Arsenal have beaten Bayern Munich 3-1 in the Champions League and now top of the table. We're going to look back at the game and all of the incidents. We're then going to take a look at this weekend's big clash in the Premier League as Arsenal go to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea in a top two clash. Lots to cover on episode 31 of Red Lines and Half Spaces. Welcome to episode 31 of Red Lines Half Spaces. Wow, the big results keep coming for Arsenal at the moment. The so-called best team in the world, but we're going to debate that shortly. But helping us debate all of this is our good co-host, Joe. Joe, best team in the world, eh?
Well, yeah, we laugh, but I mean, on current form, could it be argued we are? I think
I find that, do you know, you want to be humble and all that, but it feels weird. It feels really surreal to be called that, isn't it? For Arsenal, as Arsenal fans, we acknowledge it as ourselves. Inside ourselves, we say that, but you don't. For other people to say that is a bit weird at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're used to Arsenal slander and being banter FC and all that sort of stuff. So for neutrals to be coming out and sort of saying that Arsenal are one of the best sides in the world on current form, arguably could be the best side in the world. It's a weird situation to be in, mate. I feel like, as much as I appreciate the good sentiment of people, I'll just leave us alone. We will decide if we're the best team in the world or not. But no, it's all very welcome, mate. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan at the moment. And the only thing that sort of I'm not happy about is that it's not currently May. Because if it was May, I think we'd be looking at maybe 2-3 trophies. Of course, we haven't even quite reached December yet, so still a long way to go. But yeah, we're in fantastic form. We just have to keep going as best we can, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And last time out, we played Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League. So let me share the slides. If you are watching on YouTube, you will see the slides in a second. Here we go. So last time out, it was Arsenal 3, Bayern 1. Joe, going into this game, this was definitely billed as the clash of the heavyweights, wasn't it? It was number 1 and 2 in the Champions League. The two acknowledged form teams at the moment. Bayern going amazingly well in the Bundesliga, had got full 12 points in the Champions League. Arsenal, top of the Premier League, and full 12 as well. This had the feeling of a big heavyweight clash, didn't it, Joe? It like in boxing, you have those big heavyweight clash. This was it. The immovable object. I mean, it's that kind of thing. That analogy, isn't it? The indestructible object meets the immovable object, and one had to give. And wow, what an evening. But how are you feeling going into the game, Joe? Were you confident? I mean, we talked about in our preview, this was going to be a hard game, and we were kind of the opinion, would we prioritise this over Chelsea? And obviously we'll talk about that with the lineup, but how are you feeling going into this one?
Well, first of all, I'll do you a favour and say it's the immovable object meets the unstoppable force. Because you got a bit tongue-tied there. So we'll have...
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. It's hard.
Just let the people know what he's going on about. But yeah, going into the game, this was one I was really excited for. I think I've banged on this podcast for a few weeks now about how this Arsenal-Bayern game was one I was really excited for. Reasons being, mate, obviously Bayern are absolutely flying. I think, obviously, I know there's missing Diaz for the game, but I think you could argue their front three is probably arguably the best in world football with Elise, Diaz and Kane when they're all available. I think they've won all of their league games. I know it's not the Premier League, but it's still an impressive record to win all your league games so far. And obviously they're flying in Europe as well. And we know the struggles we've had against Bayern in the past, specifically sort of multiple 5-1 losses to them. We've kind of, they've almost sort of big brothered us. They've always sort of patted us on the head and said, They're Arsenal, there's levels to this sort of thing. So for the first time in a long time, I felt like we was going into this game on par with Bayern. Because obviously they're a massive club, resources unbelievable. They've got fantastic players. But for the first time in a long time, mate, I felt going into this game that we weren't the little brother anymore. And I feel like we walked in with our chests out, shoulders back, and we was like, we're the Arsenal, and this is a different animal you're up against now. So I was just really excited for it, mate. And I think just that Tottenham game at the weekend, it was almost like the perfect platform for us to go into this game, because the bounce that we got from that win was massive. And I think if we'd have played against sort of like a lesser club and won the game, yeah, we might have gone into it confident. But I feel like the Spurs game really kind of helped us fly out of the blocks into this game and just really embrace everything that came with it.
Yeah, I think the nature of the scoreline as well, not just the game itself, but we won convincingly on the weekend. And I think that really made a difference to the mindset. But also as well, how can you not get up for Bayern Munich, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich? As well as that, to your analogy about little brother, being little brothered a little bit, I think this Arsenal team this year are so much stronger, isn't it? There's this kind of attitude that we are better than you. We're bigger, we're stronger, we're more physical. And I think as we went into the game, as we got deeper into the game, that came out. But let's look at the lineup, Joe. So, for Arsenal, we had David Raya in goal, no arguments there. Timber, Saliba, Mosquera starting, whereas Hincapié had started on the weekend, Calafiori. Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Eze, Trossard, Marino. Now, a couple of caveats here with the Arsenal team. Trossard did go off just before half-time, unfortunately with an injury. We're waiting still on confirmation. Mikel said in today's press conference that he may make it for the weekend, but obviously Noni Madueke came on. The Bayern Munich team, Manuel Neuer in goal, Konrad Laimer, Jonathan Tah, Deo Upamecano, Stanisic, Gnabry, Carl as your wingers, Pavlovic, Kimmich in the middle, Elise supporting Kane, who really was not a striker. We'll get into that in a minute. But Joe, strong lineup. We actually thought he may have rotated a little bit, but the only rotation really was Mosquera, wasn't it? And that surprised me a little bit, but it says how seriously he took this game, because we didn't need it for the points. We're doing pretty well in the Champions League, and I think we'll get through to the next day quite easily, even before this result. But I think he wanted to lay a marker down, didn't it? It felt like he wanted to lay down a marker of, we are the top team in Europe right now. This is, and we're going to show it against the supposed other top team in Europe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think you've kind of nailed it there, is that a lot of fans from various sort of podcasts and stuff you listen to, myself included, were kind of willing to sacrifice this result if it meant beating Chelsea. By no means were people saying, I'll take a loss in this game. But I think people would have been happy to take a draw if it meant going on to beat Chelsea at the weekend. But it just shows the type of manager Arteta is, that there is no backing off for any games. I mean, we're going full throttle at all these games. I know he brought in Mosquera, but obviously Mosquera's shown how good he's been this year.
Why did he bring it in? So let me ask you that, Joe. Why did he bring him in, do you think, over Hincapié? Hincapié did really well on the weekend. Is it a case that maybe Hincapié is not fit, or is it that Mosquera brings something different against a Kane and an Elise, etc.?
I think Arteta has already answered this for us, mate. I'm sure he come out in his post-match press conference and said Hincapié is obviously not quite up to match fitness yet. That game took a lot out of him. So I think that's probably why he's done it, just because, like we said, Hincapié's not had a lot of minutes. Obviously, travelled back from Ecuador. I think he played 90 in both games. Yeah. So it's going to take it out of you. The atmosphere from that game would have sort of carried him through, if you like. But the day after, maybe when that adrenaline wears off, the legs started to feel a little heavy. So no problem with bringing in Mosquera. Like I said, we've seen how good he's been when he's played previously. Good to see MLS get a start.
I forgot. Sorry, I got it wrong. I did get it wrong. I put Calafiori. It is MLS. Sorry. Thanks for correcting me, Joe.
That's all right. I don't think MLS had his best game, but I'll caveat that by saying he's up against Michael Elise, who's been unbelievable so far this season for Bayern. He's on fire. And obviously MLS hasn't been getting a lot of minutes, so he's sort of out of match practice. I know he done really well against Atletico, but I don't think he was up against a world-class player like Michael Elise, who could, on his day, will skin anyone, really. But no, the rest of the team, sort of as expected, I think. Obviously, we speak about rotation, but I mean, I don't think that anyone really would have been willing to see kind of Zubamendi drop for a Norgard for this game. Anything like that. And obviously, the bench now is people are coming back, so we've got the ability to change things from the bench, which is good. And I was glad to see we did that. Obviously, the scoreline kind of aided us in our ability to do that. But in terms of starting lineup, fairly happy with it. My only real concern is the load we're currently putting on Jurrien Timber. Because I think if we were to lose him, that could be massive. But hopefully he'll just keep machining his way through this season. And yeah, just something we've probably got to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, I think we definitely have to. I think he gets through so much. He's such an athlete that he gets through so much in a game. But you're right, Joe. I think all Arsenal fans are concerned about Jurrien Timber. It was good to see Ben White get on in the last few minutes, but I would have expected more. To your point about Lewis Skelly, I was with you. I think it was just a case of, look, you're talking about a fully fit Michael Elise, match fit, and Lars Lewis Skelly hasn't really had the minutes, has he? I mean, it's not the same when you go up against. I think a fully fit, match fit Lewis Skelly will do much better against Elise. I don't think there's any worries about his ability. I think anyone who's poo-pooing his ability is not really looking at what he did last season. You're talking about, Elise's in prime form at the moment, playing every week, doing really well against Lewis Skelly, who came in as reserve. But it shows the confidence of Arteta to do that, doesn't it, Joe? So let's move on and talk about the match stats. So Arsenal 40%, Bayern 60%. We'll talk about that because it was an interesting way that we went about the game. Expected goals, though, 3.11 for Arsenal, 0.65 for Bayern. Total shots, 13 on goal, 8 for Bayern. Shots on target, 8 for Arsenal, 2 for Bayern. Big chances, 7 for Arsenal, Bayern 1. Accurate passes, 275 for 8 with 80% pass rate. Bayern 461 with an 86 pass rate. Corners, 6 for Arsenal, for Bayern 1. Joe, the stats tell you that Arsenal were more efficient, weren't we, in all the areas. And for me, Bayern, and it came out in the game, were just overplaying it way too much at points, weren't they? What did you think, bearing those stats in mind?
Yeah, I think at the start of the game, Bayern looked really good. They had a lot of possession, kept the ball for quite a long time. I found we've not seen that very much at all this season, if at all. That's probably the first time really that you've seen Arsenal.
Do you think that was Arteta trying to feel out what Bayern were doing and trying to? Declan Rice made a point about this. They were looking for references. When you're playing, you look for your reference, don't you? Effectively, who's the striker? Who's your number 8? Who are you going up against? And obviously, they found it very difficult because Kane dropped off and everyone was changing positions. So, do you think it was that they were trying to understand? Look, where is everyone playing and what are they doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think we probably went into this, mate, and just thought, you know what, we'll stay compact and organised early on, and we'll just see what Bayern have got. Because I think, given the kind of energy expenditure from the weekend, you can't then go full throttle straight away in this game because if you run out of legs late on, Bayern could walk all over you because we know that they don't have the most intense games in the league, so they probably wouldn't have as heavy legs as we may have going into the latter stages of the game. But no, I think it was very sort of deliberate from Arteta. I think he probably sort of instructed the team, said, look, just be compact earlier. This game isn't going to be won or lost in the first sort of 10 minutes. Just keep it tight. If they want to have the ball, let them have it. Obviously, we'll go and press when we need to. And like you alluded to with Declan Rice, sounds like there were certain triggers where if they sort of entered certain zones on the pitch, then we'd press. And otherwise, we'd kind of sit off and let them have it. But no, I was really impressed with our performance, mate. And again, to restrict Bayern Munich to only 2 shots on target, it again shows the defensive solidity of the whole team, not just the defence.
But do you think, looking at this, Joe, we didn't have the majority of possession, but we had the better expected goals, better shots, big chances. So shouldn't overpass it? Should passing around? Are we that? To me, it speaks of we're adaptable, aren't we? We don't need to overplay the ball to win this game. Because usually in most games, Joe, I think you and I talked, we do overplay sometimes. We pass side to side, etc. But I feel this year it's more thoughtful in that we're passing to try and reset everybody or trying to pull a team out from its comfort zone, if you call it that. We did it against Newcastle. We did it against Crystal Palace quite a bit. I think Arteta's just gone up a level in terms of he's thought about, with Bayern, let's find out what they're all about, but we're going to be much more efficient in how we play forward. We didn't pass it for passing sake. We went long ball as well, didn't we, Joe, in this game?
Yeah, and it kind of comes back to the point we made before, Yem, about sort of our transfer window and this squad, is that we've now got a team that's capable of playing in so many different ways. Like I've said before, if you want to go long ball against us, we can do that. If you want to play sort of tiki-taka football, we can do that. If you want to sort of end-to-end game, transition game, not a problem, we can do that. We've now got such depth in this squad and so many different tools that we can call upon. We can just adapt to every sort of opponent and just find a way to get wins, and put in good performances. Because again, this was another fantastic performance. And it was just such a different game from the weekend. But Arsenal, again, were just able to adapt to whatever the opposition kind of come up with. And we just look fantastic. And it, like I've said before, mate, when we went up to Newcastle, home games against Palace, they're all very, very different games, all require very different things sort of from a tactical point of view. But we're just able to do whatever the game demands of us, whatever the opposition want to throw at us, we can deal with it. And again, this Bayern Munich was just another brilliant example of how multifaceted this team is.
I like it, multifaceted. What a word, Joe. You wordsmith, you beautiful wordsmith, you.
You can tell I've had a work from home day today, can't you? And got full of energy.
Because your brain is now, it's not the noise around it. But Joe, let's talk about the goals and the incidents. Before that, I just want to touch upon a point that you just made. We played long ball, but who was it? Joshua Kimmich said that Arsenal just came to play long ball. Who had the more long balls in the game? Bayern or Arsenal? Who played more long ball?
You only asked me this question if Bayern had more long ball, so I'm going to go Bayern.
I love how players of this short-sightedness of say these things.
Wasn't there a goal from a long ball?
Yes, it was. It's unbelievable what these players say. They just want it. The subversion.
There's nothing wrong with, I'm not criticising Bayern for scoring via a long ball, because it was a very good goal. It was a great diagonal over the top, and the cross was brilliant, and Lennart Carl finished it really well. So I don't know. People seem to think that saying you play long balls is a criticism, but I think if you play sort of those kind of diagonal balls really well, it's a really good way to play. So,
but there's different types. If you're hoofing it, I understand it. You get frustrated because it's such a, it's like a loose ball game, like at Sunderland. But the long balls we were playing were definitely not for the sake of, just hoofing up there. We were trying to, make concerted runs off the ball, etc. I thought we did really well. So, Joe, the first goal, set piece FC strikes again. Yuri Timber, what a fantastic delivery from Bukayo Saka. Really did well. But as you said, Bayern Munich started very well and had the ball for a long time. But throughout this game, corners, they struggled, didn't they? They were struggling with I think they're in the Bundesliga, and I've seen it before. Bundesliga is very much easy-ozy on physical challenges in the box, especially from corners. They will give anything, the lightest touch, and that's it. It's a free kick, go on. But obviously for the Champions League and for us, it's much more robust. There was a lot more blocking of the goalkeeper, the usual stuff we're used to. But I thought it was a really well-worked corner routine, and Yuri Timber got the goal, really nicely done. And again, Timber just coming up when we needed him, when there's no Gabriel, obviously. What did you think of the goal?
Yeah, it's just another brilliant set piece, isn't it? The one we're sort of all quite familiar with is that gathering at the back post, running in, sort of getting in front of the defenders, and just that flick on at the near post. It's just so difficult to defend. And quite ironic that Bayern apparently had been practicing their set pieces, but we scored from the set piece we've probably used the most. But no, really good header. Again, these goals don't happen without world-class delivery and a real desire to get on the end of it. And we have both of them things all the time. So really good goal. And I feel like it kind of took the wind out of Bayern's sails as well, that goal. And I think we probably could have been 2-0 up shortly after when Eze kind of got through. He wasn't sure whether to pass it or shoot.
Yeah, and it just dribbled past he shot, didn't he?
And it was fantastic, really good play. But then I'm sure, as you're about to allude to, Bayern hit back very quickly.
So let's talk about it. There's no image because we're not going to do that. We're not that kind of Arsenal podcast. But the goal came from, as you said, a long ball from Joshua Kimmich. Really well done. Lovely cross to Elise. And Elise with another fantastic cross into Lennart Carl, the 17-year-old, who I thought was really impressive, actually, for most of it. Kind of died down in the second half, but I expect that for a 17-year-old. Again, you're kind of comparing him to the Max Daumann, the Ifuaneris, etc. But he was very impressive, wasn't he, Lennart Carl? And it was a great finish from a really good move. You have to acknowledge it. It's a quality team. You can't expect from them not to create chances. They restricted them to 2, but it was a great goal, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, brilliant goal. Like I said, that diagonal ball over the top of MLS, world class. That's what you get in the Champions League. Is that if in the Premier League that could be overhit slightly, the first touch from the winger could just sort of take you away from goal. The cross that comes in could be sort of overhit, underhit, whatever. There's so many things that at the highest level they get right all the time, and that goal was a great example of it because the diagonal was perfect, the cross was perfect, and the finish was perfect as well. So might have got away with that in the Premier League against sort of like a lesser opposition, but in Europe you get punished, and that was a good reminder for us, to be fair, that there are going to be teams who are able to punish it at times because we're playing at the top level of European football.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the next goal after what? So we made some substitutions. Calafiori, Noni Madueke had to come on just before halftime for the injured Trossard, but Calafiori came on for MLS, and it was a fabulous ball out. Really, really well done. There was a couple of moves, actually, that I really want to touch upon. Declan Rice, my God. Let's talk about Declan Rice. Declan Rice in this game was unbelievable. His driving runs, he should have had a goal, actually. That one that he made the driving run and smacked it left-footed, and Manuel Neuer made a fantastic save. But he was everywhere, wasn't he? He was the man of the match by a clear mile, wasn't he, Joe?
Yeah, do you know what the thing is? Well, other than that chance, I think the thing that summed up Declan Rice's performance is seeing him that sort of battle towards the end of the game he had, where he kind of was driving forward, lost the ball, not a problem, spins around, goes back, wins the tackle, has the armband on, big roar at the crowd. And that just kind of summed up his game. He was absolutely phenomenal. And could it be argued he's currently the best sort of central midfield player in the worth in his role as that box-to-box player?
This is the debate. This is the debate. So why don't we have a chat about it? There's been this comparison this week by Sky around Caicedo and Declan Rice. I don't think Declan Rice is a number 6, personally. I think he's an all-around midfielder. He's not even an 8. I think he does everything really well. I think Caicedo is a very good number 6. But I think Declan Rice offers so much more, and I think that's what gives him that kind of... He elevates himself for me. He delivers set pieces. He scores goals. He is driving from midfield all the time. Where, for me, he feels like the best midfielder at the moment, on form. He just delivers in big games. He did it against Real Madrid last year. He did it again tonight against Bayern Munich. What do you think? Do you think he's the best midfielder in the world at the moment? I mean, Caicedo's certainly in there for as a good shout.
But yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because unless you watch kind of world football regularly, it's hard to kind of make a fair judgment on it. But I think what we could say as Arsenal fans who spend most of our time watching Arsenal is that if there is anyone out there who is producing the same level as Declan Rice, I've not seen or heard it yet. And usually this stuff finds its way to you on Twitter, doesn't it? And various other news sources. But I think as well, Declan Rice, he's the sort of player who is obviously playing in our side at the moment, but he could easily just slip into earlier Arsenal teams, like the 4-4-2 Arsenals, because he can do it all. Back in the day of the Keane and Vieira battles, can you imagine throwing like a Declan Rice in there as well?
That would have been superb, wouldn't it? It really would.
Yeah, he's just on fantastic form, mate. And I think he said, it was either his interview after Spurs or an interview after Bayern, he said it's the fittest he's ever felt. He just feels like on top of the world at the moment. And he's showing these performances because arguably at the moment, even with all the world-class talent we have, he is currently up there as one of our best players at the moment. And he just he's been a monster for the last few games now, and same again on Sunday, and it could lead to a positive result for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And just again, he was just everywhere. Do you remember that was that point where he lost the ball? He went on a driving run, lost the ball, got up straight away, came back, and absolutely went for another tackle. That's just describes Declan Rice to me, doesn't it? It's just unbelievable. But Joe, second goal came from a fantastic ball from Riccardo Calafiori. I thought when Calafiori came on, I thought we looked better. Look, again, MLS rusty, no detriment to him, but Calafiori is the number one choice at the moment at the left back for a reason. He just looked a little bit better, didn't he, when he came on? And then it was a fabulous cross to Noni Madueke at the far post. Really, and a great first goal. What a way to get your first goal for Arsenal in the Champions League in one of the biggest games.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I think what Calafiori's done is show that a fully fit Calafiori is just an exceptional player. And that's taking nothing away from MLS. He's obviously not getting as many minutes, not in the form that he was in last year, which is absolutely fine. You won't be. But
yeah,
I think what it does highlight is just the level that Calafiori is currently playing at, to make MLS look kind of average, if you like, to sound really harsh. But I think that's more of a compliment to Calafiori at how well he's playing rather than MLS criticism. Like I said, mate, he came on the pitch and put in an absolutely fantastic cross. Again, so much pace, just really whipped it in, almost to hit it like a shot, just fired it across the top. And Madueke done really well. You see it on the kind of one of the angles. He just sort of times his run really well, sort of ghosts in behind the fullback, nips in front of him. And yeah, I mean, the only other sort of thing that he probably would have wanted was to score his first goal at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. But Bayern Munich getting the goal that puts you into the lead, first Champions League goal, it's not a bad way to open your account for the Arsenal.
I know it, and I mean Conrad Lima was struggling throughout that game with Bukayo Saka, but obviously then we took off Bukayo Saka to bring on Martinelli, who we'll go into in a minute. That was unheard of a couple of years ago, wasn't it? In the big game, you make that switch, and then obviously Madueke switched to the right wing and got the goal from there. Crazy, isn't it, how things have evolved, Joe, that we're now in a position where we can take off Bukayo Saka, who didn't have a bad game at all. I thought he had a very good game, actually. I think it was just, again, we're saving legs for games to come, isn't it? You want to rotate well, but you want options like a Madueke who are going to give you something different, and obviously came up with the goal. It's great, isn't it, Joe, that you can have that kind of thing?
Absolutely, mate. And we talk about saving legs, but I think more than saving legs, we're able to bring on players now who mean that the drop-off isn't astronomical. Because before, Bukayo Saka would have gone off and we'd be bringing on, with all due respect, a Reece Nelson. We'd be bringing on, a Leandro Trossard and having to play him on the right-hand side. It's just, we've now got, I keep saying it again, but we've now got just so much depth and so much quality that you're bringing on Gabby Martinelli, who goes on the left-hand side and has been phenomenal for us this year, to be fair. And obviously Madueke, before he got injured, was looking really, really good for us on that right-hand side in Saka's absence. So the drop-off now, don't get me wrong, I still think that Bukayo Saka is star boy. He's still the number one. No one's kind of on his level. But the fact is we're now able to bring on Madueke, who's his sort of backup for England, if you like. So he's you could argue he's the second best player in this country in that position. So it just, like we said, mate, it's night and day from what we're used to seeing from Arsenal and now what we're able to do. Because like we said before, could you ever imagine a time playing Bayern Munich at home, taking Bukayo Saka off with sort of 25 minutes to go? Absolutely no chance.
No chance. But it shows the level of progress and the squad investment this year. Joe, the final goal. What a goal this was. So Bayern Munich had put the pressure on, pressed us towards our area, but we broke up play really well. And the amount of passes that came through him, Declan Rice, Mika Moreno, to Eze, and the ball from Eze, what a pick out. I don't think Eze had his best game. He was good. But the ball from Martinelli, he's able to spot those balls. And I think he does that better than Ødegaard. I love Ødegaard. But would Ødegaard have gone for that ball particularly, just a curled ball over the top. I just thought it was a superb ball. And then obviously Martinelli gets on the end of it. Neuer comes rushing out as he does. He tries to. Got it all wrong. Got it absolutely wrong. There's a little bit of a touch off Neuer, which helped Martinelli. But once it got past him, it was open goal. And it was obviously just for Martinelli to tuck it away. And he did. What a goal, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, brilliant goal, mate. And if you was to say, like, close your eyes and imagine Gabriel Martinelli scoring a goal, this is exactly what you imagine him doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that sort of making the run in behind, keeper's out, gets it past him and just rolls it into him. It was such a Gabby Martinelli goal. It was brilliant. And like you said, the ball from Eze, outstanding as well, just to be able to pick him out. Seems they've got a good little connection, that, because it was similar to the Man City sort of Eze clipping it in behind, Martinelli running onto it. But again, what's that, 4-4 now for Martinelli in the Champions League?
For Martinelli in the Champions League, I think it suits him, doesn't it? Because it's more open, isn't it? The teams open up, don't they?
Very much so. And again, mate, it's just an example of sort of the different tools we have now. Trossard has been outstanding, but plays in a very different way. So he goes off, Madueke comes on. Madueke sort of will be looking to get down the byline, whip crosses in early on the left foot. We then change it again, bring on Martinelli, who will go from sort of out to in onto his right foot. And teams are constantly trying to have to judge what Arsenal were doing. And it's just so difficult because who was playing right back, for Bayern? Off the top of my head, I've forgotten.
Pavlovic.
So during that game, Pavlovic has been up against Trossard, Madueke and Martinelli. And they are all three incredibly different players. So I don't envy him at all. He must have woke up on Thursday with a very bad headache.
Yeah, Stanic. Pavlovic was in midfield. Stanic. But Joe, a great goal and what a way to top off the game. It was second half. I thought we were absolutely dominant, weren't we? And the stats bear it out. I don't think Bayern really had it. I think they couldn't cope physically, even though that they had the weekend off effectively. They had rotated their squad heavily. We hadn't. But they couldn't cope physically. They just dropped off so badly, didn't they? I mean, Leonard Carl, I can understand, but couple of points here. Harry Kane, no touches in the box, no shots. It was pretty much, he wasn't in the game, was he at all, Joe?
No, not really. But
he was dropping deep.
He was dropping very deep, but also he's been doing that all year for Bayern, hasn't he? He's been kind of dropping into that hole, linking things up, and then sort of arriving late in the box to finish off chances.
Yeah.
Equally, we're brilliant defensively. He wouldn't have come up against a defensive unit or individual players as good as what Arsenal are at the moment. So you probably could make an argument, mate, that he's been playing kind of against easier opposition. So he's able to kind of get his confidence up and get away with sort of doing less, a little bit less, if you like. But when you come into these Champions League games and against a team as defensively solid as Arsenal, it's a real struggle. And it might be difficult, mate, playing at sort of, if you like, a B level in the league and then having to go and play at sort of like A-star level in the Champions League. It's probably quite difficult to then go to that next level because you've been playing fairly sort of comfortable teams for so long. But he's still an exceptional player, and I think we just need to kind of applaud what we've done to stop Harry Kane from getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was just a fabulous result in the end. But what it means, Joe, is, if my thing is updated, is the league table has changed, and there can only be one, referencing Highlander. I know some people don't know what Highlander is. If you haven't, go and watch the movie. But there can be only one, and there is only one at the top. Maximum points for Arsenal, 15 of 15, all wins. Paris Saint-Germain, who beat Tottenham 5-3. Thank you very much, Paris. In second with 12. Bayern Munich dropped to third, 12 points. Inter, who lost 1-0 to Atletico Madrid, on 12 as well. Real Madrid on 12 again. Dortmund on 10. Chelsea, who won against Barcelona very handsomely, up to 10. Sporting Lisbon on 10. Very surprising, Sporting Lisbon, actually. Man City on 10. That result was a bit of a shocker as well. No Erling Haaland, no result. Atalanta on 10. Newcastle, who lost to Marseille in 11th. Atletico Madrid, who beat Inter, move up to 9th. And Liverpool, oh dear. Liverpool 4-1 loss at Anfield again, down to 13th. Joe, sitting atop the Champions League, sitting atop the Premier League. It's hard work, isn't it, at the moment?
So I'm getting nosebleeds from being this high up all the time. Yeah, it's not good for us.
It is. I mean, it's great. I mean, again, we've got Inter. No, is it Club Brugge or Internet? I think it's Club Brugge, isn't it? Club Brugge.
I'll go with you on this one.
Yeah, I think it's Club Brugge, and then we've got Inter, and then Kairat Almaty. 3 games left. I think we've got a very good chance of qualifying in the top 8, haven't we, Joe? I think we've pretty much done the work, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, the Bayern, Atletico, and Inter were the big games for me. And the fact that we've got two wins from them, and we've got Inter to come, means that Kairat Almaty game, I think that's the last one. You can do 11 changes again for that one now. That's not a problem. I'd expect to see some rotation for Club Brugge as well, because I think we're pretty much there, mate. And all it does, again, it allows us just, when the fixtures are falling, it just, have an extra night off, lads, and we can just, because we've negotiated the difficult games, we've won the big games, and that's what makes the difference. If you lose those big games, it means that you can't really sort of take your foot off the gas in the lesser games. But if we can get a result against Inter as well, then wow, what a league phase it would have been. And you wouldn't rule out now Arsenal winning every game in the league phase of this competition, mate, because we're looking good.
I think he wants revenge, doesn't he, for last year? Because that result was not fair. You know, obviously we were injury prone, but we still gave a good account of ourselves, I thought. I think we can go to Inter and get a result. I think that'd be great if we can. I mean, Inter are no slouches. We've already seen that. They're 12th for a reason. But Joe, Champions League stops for a little bit. We're going to, we focus now back to the Premier League. Up next, Chelsea away, the top 2 at the moment in the league. So this is going to be an interesting one, isn't it, Joe? Chelsea are coming off a big win against Barcelona, a big win on a high, going well in the Premier League. Although I will say, I don't think they're in top gear at the moment. I think against Burnley, they got a little bit lucky in that Burnley had all the chances and they should have scored, but poor finishing and a poor ability to finish was some of the reasons. But this is not going to be an easy test, is it, Joe? Away at Chelsea.
No, mate, it'd be a very difficult game. I think Chelsea obviously doing very well this year, but the only thing I would say is, off the top of my head, I could be wrong, so please do correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've played any of the big boys yet.
Tottenham are not a big boy, are they?
This is what I mean. I don't think they've played. I don't think they've had any kind of the real kind of banana skin games yet, which may make their league position slightly kind of false, if you like. But I'll let you check that out. But no, going to Stamford Bridge, mate, it's always a difficult game. We know what we'll get when we go there. I think it's been. I think Cole Palmer's been part of it for the game.
Yeah, but will he start? Do you think they'd start him in this game? I mean, he's maybe past fit, but he's not match fit, is he?
Well,
would you put him in? Would you put him in this kind of game where it's, you know, against Arsenal, who are fully at it?
Yeah,
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Hard to say, mate. It's hard to say, but if he plays, he's a quality player. So he's one we'll have to watch out for. They've got very good players. Chelsea strike me as a very good team of individuals at the moment. I think given Maresca some time, and he could sort of gel them together quite nicely, and they could become a strong team. But they're a good side, mate. Like we said, we know Stamford Bridge is a difficult place to go and get results. I think their home form. The only thing I would say is that the home form, they've played 6, won 3, drawn 1, lost 2, scored 9, conceded 6. So you could argue their home form isn't the best. And I would, in years gone by, I'd argue Arsenal's away form has been a real strength of ours. So again, this is a game where in years gone by, we've probably gone to Chelsea and thought, take a draw here. But again, it's another game, mate, where in my head, I'm thinking, years gone by, I would have taken a draw, but no, I want to see them win this game and really just lay down another statement win, because, like we said, Chelsea are second. If you beat them, that then puts a 9-point gap to Chelsea. And we just, if we can, I don't expect, I think City have got leads. So I think Haaland's probably going to get about 18 goals in that game. So we just need to go there, and if we can get a win at Chelsea, mate, then wow, what a week. A win at Spurs, win against Bayern, win against Chelsea. What a role and what a week that would be if we was able to get that result on Sunday.
Yeah, it's massive. Even a draw, actually, like considering the week that you have, it's still a big result to go. But I think a win is certainly attainable, because I think if you look at Chelsea's result, so Chelsea have played Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, but Liverpool, we know, are in very poor form at the moment. They're not the team that they were. But it's interesting to see, Chelsea to me just strike me as a very disjointed team at points. They seem very good, then they turn it on, and then they drop off. In some games they don't seem up for it. I think they'll be up for it this weekend. This will be a big one. And I think it's going to be interesting how Arteta lines up, given injuries as well. So we had a behind closed door friendly last night against Watford. Jesus played, a few more players played. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of squad additions we can have, because obviously Madueke and Martinelli are back. That's big. Trossard, we don't know yet. I suspect... Who would you put in the defence? Would you go Mosquera or Hincapié? Who do you think will happen?
Before that, have you heard anything about that behind closed doors friendly, about who sort of played, what happened, anything like that?
Jesus and Ethan Nwaneri played. I know that. Arteta didn't give any more than that. There wasn't any.
Arsenal, or your friend rather than our friend, your friend. I saw someone sort of asked him what happened, and he just put up a picture of Jesus. So in my mind, Jesus
he was being very close.
Will now start on Sunday.
I don't think so, but I think it's good news that Jesus is getting minutes, because you do want, if you can get another quality player back, it's great. But again, we'll wait and see what happens with the lineup. I think Arteta has said that Havertz and Gyökeres may make it. Depends on tomorrow's scan. 50-50, I think it sounds like. But we'll wait and see. But obviously, Joe, if you look at the table, it's got massive implications, hasn't it? Chelsea are there on 20. We're there on 29 points. Chelsea 23, City 22. So it's not like we've got a massive amount of points that are separating us. This game, depending on how we can go, we can extend our lead and get further away. From, you'd assume City will win their game, so they'll maybe get to 25, and then we'll be on 32. So 7 points again. You've got to keep pace. It's tightening up, and I think City will be there, but you equally want to put a marker down against Chelsea, don't you? You want to show that we are the title favourite for a reason,
Yeah.
Well, this done for getting this far, but...
This is what Liverpool and City have done to us in years gone by, isn't it, Yem? That they just keep on winning. Yeah. And it's just so exhausting going into a game thinking we have to win because they keep winning. So we need to kind of do what everyone's done to us over the years, and that is just keep racking up wins and just keep throwing the pressure back on people, because eventually it is demoralising. We as Arsenal fans know that better than anyone else. I mean, that kind of 2 years ago, we won 17 out of 18 games, and it wasn't enough to win the league. And it was just so demoralising going into every game thinking, oh, this could be the one, then City win again. And then City win, and they just keep on winning. So if we can do that to the opposition, we know better than anyone else how that makes you feel and how sort of soul-destroying it can be. And I want us now to do that to everyone else.
So then who do you start on the weekend? I thought Mika Marino in the two games against Tottenham, against Bayern Munich, actually played really well and actually did his role amazingly well. Wasn't like superb, but he dropped off and gave problems for defences, didn't he? And I think Chelsea's defence is not amazing, is it? So you'd want maybe to, given the fitness of everyone else, I'd say Mika Marino will probably start up front, won't he? And we'll probably play that kind of false nine paradigm, won't we, Joe? I think that's what's going to happen, really, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can, I think go with the same team that started against Spurs. That would be my preference. I know questions over Trossard, but then if you bring in Madueke, fine. If you bring in Martinelli, fine. We've got options there. You could even potentially stick Eze out there.
Who would you go?
Odegaard in a 10. There's just so many different options we can do.
I forgot about Odegaard. Ooh, what do you do? So let's play the advocate. Would you start Odegaard in this game?
I don't think so, just because of the performance Eze gave against Spurs. I'd want him to continue in that 10, because I could imagine him finding space again in those kind of areas, and you need to be clinical in these kind of games, and I think he's got that edge over Odegaard at the moment.
And then what about the wing? Who are you going to, Madueke? So say Trossard is injured. Maybe he won't be. Trossard's injured. Madueke or Martinelli?
Personally, I'd go Madueke, just because I think going back to Stamford Bridge, he'll be up for it. And then the ability to bring Martinelli off the bench, brilliant.
Beautiful.
What about you?
Okay, so we'll wait and see what happens. I would start Madueke actually because he's got that extra drive. As he scored his first goal, he wants to show Chelsea why they got rid of him, and obviously, you get that bit between your teeth, don't you? And I think Eze should start. I think Ødegaard, you bring in slowly, don't you? Really, just so you don't risk the injuries. He's had a horrid time this season.
This is the other thing,
so
so
bad
you've got
but I wouldn't be surprised.
Declan Rice scored against West Ham. Eze scored against Palace. Madueke, you know what to do.
Okay. Oh no, you know what to do. You definitely know what to do. But we'll make our predictions now in the predictors game. So Joe, I am going to hand over to you as our lovely host for this one.
Thank you very much.
You take it away.
So last week, we both got 35. We both did not bad.
I know you're telling us that's not bad.
We both did all right. So we both got two.
No
correct
one could have seen the Liverpool game. No. Do you think we got the Liverpool game right at all, Joe? Did we get that?
No,
did we get the prediction right for Liverpool?
Correct. Nobody predicted that. But no, we both.
Would anyone in their right mind? God.
We both did all right last week.
35.
Yeah, 35. We did well. So going into this week, it's all to play for again because we're neck and neck currently. So we're kicking off the weekend.
Is it neck and neck? I thought it was 5 points to you.
It might be 5 points to me, but I'm still classing that as neck and neck, mate, because that's not a lot. That's just one correct sort of scoreline. So Brentford against Burnley, the first one for the weekend.
I think Brentford will win this one. I think at home, Brentford do better. We got Brentford in the week as well, so I think Burnley are struggling again. They've had a few good, but what I saw against Chelsea was they can't finish. They struggle to finish, and I think Brentford will be better. I think a 2. Oh, I want to say 1, but I don't want it. 2-0. 2-0 Brentford.
2-0 Brentford. Yeah,
how much it hurt me to actually say that.
I know it's your favourite scoreline. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Brentford. Just go. I could see Igor Thiago getting a couple in this one, and yeah, I think Brentford at home are a different beast to Brentford away. City against Leeds. City are at home.
Oh, yeah. This is a Haaland hat trick. I'm going for a Haaland hat trick in this one, and I want the extra point if he does. I'm going with a 4-0. 4-0 to City.
4-0. Similarly to you,
I think
Haaland's going to get.
I think City will be pissed.
I think Haaland's going to have an absolute field day here, mate. So I'm going 5 for City. Sunderland at home to Bournemouth.
Sunderland at home are a very different prospect. I think Bournemouth are struggling right now. They haven't really done that much recently, have they? They've lost quite a few games as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've been struggling a bit recently, Bournemouth.
I think Sunderland will win this 2-1.
Yeah, that's nice. I think, like you, Sunderland are very good at home. Bournemouth haven't won in 3. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw because Bournemouth, they're still a good side. So I think Sunderland at home, good. Bournemouth at home, good. I think, 1-1 for me. Everton at home to Newcastle.
Okay. If this was at St James's Park, I would have said Newcastle to win this all the way. But Everton, I think, have done really well. They got a fabulous result against Man United, against all odds. I think Gay being missing is a big miss, even though he wants to slap his own players, but that's up to him. But I think Newcastle coming off a Champions League game, they tend to get this bit of a fog around them. They've struggled every Champions League game they've come back from. I think Everton are going to win this 2-1. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Everton.
2-1 to Everton.
I'm actually, and just for reference, I'm off to the Hill Dickinson Stadium for Everton Arsenal. So I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. I'm going to go for an Everton 1, Newcastle 2. So I'm going to flip the scoreline. I think Newcastle, eventually they've got to kind of come back from Europe and put in a bit of a performance. So maybe this will be the one. Tottenham at home to Fulham.
I think Tottenham will win this one, but just about. I think it's going to be a 1-0 to Tottenham. I don't think they've been playing well at all. Defensively, they look a bit creaky, but I think Thomas Frank's going to put extra onus on the defence in this game because they've been leaking goals like anything. So I think it'll be a 1-0 Tottenham.
Yeah, I think this will be a Spurs 3-1. I think Fulham don't score a lot of goals, and Spurs at home. I think they'll want to respond because they did. I know they've lost to PSG in the week, but they put in a much better performance, so that'll give them a bit of a lift going into this one. Palace at home to United.
Palace. I think Palace will win this one. I think United looked shambolic against Everton. You're down to 10 men and you don't change anything. I think Ruben Amorim has this real rigidity about his formation that he didn't go for it. And it really did. I don't think it was good enough. I think it was pretty poor. I'm going for a Palace 2-1 win. Sorry, I know it's very cliche of me, but I can't see it any other way.
You're allowed, mate. I'm going to go for a Palace 2-0 win. Like you said, Palace having a brilliant season. United very up and down. Could win it, could lose it. You don't really know what you're going to get with United on a weekly basis. Aston Villa at home to Wolves.
Yeah. I think Aston Villa are in good form. They've done pretty well. So I'm going to go with an Aston Villa, and Wolves are a terrible, awful team. I think 3-0. Not good because this following Saturday, obviously, we play them at Villa Park.
Clicked into gear just at the right time, haven't they? I'm going to, similarly to you, mate, I think Villa are all dispatch of Wolves fairly comfortably, but I'm going to go for a 2-0 just because they had the European game on Thursday night. So it might aid Wolves somewhat, but I still don't expect them to get a result. Nottingham Forest at home to Brighton.
I think Forest are going to do well, actually. I think Sean Dyche has really solidified them up. They're working harder. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here because I still think Danny Wells will score because he's on exceptional form at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a Brighton 2-1 win.
Interesting.
Yeah. Forest obviously played in Europe in the week, did they?
Yeah, they did.
So, yeah, Brighton fresher legs maybe. West Ham at home to Liverpool.
This is going to be a hard one to call because Slot, who knows what's going with Slot. I'm going to go with a 1. I think Liverpool win this. I think they'll beat them 2-1. So Liverpool win 1-2.
Oh, do I be bold and predict a West Ham win? Do you know what, Yem? I'm going for it. I'm going to go for a West Ham 2-1 victory over Liverpool.
Okay.
And the big one, Chelsea against the Arsenal.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal. Come on, boys. I think we can win. Set piece FC. Set piece FC.
I'm going to go clean sheet. Is it going to be 1 or 2? 1 or 2. I'm going to go 2-0 to the Arsenal. I'm confident. This team are confident.
Oh, it's bold. It's bold.
I'd argue it's not as bold as 2-1 West Ham Liverpool, but it is another bold one. But we're in, mate.
This could be make or break for Joe, couldn't it? It could be make or break.
I like it, mate. This is what I like to do. I like to mix it up and I like to go for it. So, it'd be another interesting set of results coming in because we've gone, there's a few where we've differed quite a bit. So, next Premier League preview show we will be going through our results and we shall see how we're looking.
Yep, absolutely. But thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's been listening. We really do appreciate it. The numbers keep going up and we appreciate every single one of your support. If you do like the content, please do consider subscribing to us on all the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple. Check out our YouTube page as well. We really, really appreciate all of you having a listen. We hope you're enjoying the content. But Joe, we're going to leave it there for now. So until next time, stay between the lines and always find the half spaces. Catch you later. Bye for now.